Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Big Bingy's Theory. Now, today I've seen both Man of Steel and This Is the End. Now, I got a lot to say about Man of Steel, but before I get into that, I'll talk a little about This Is the End because really, there's nothing much to say about it. It's a fun comedy. Best one I've seen this year best one I've seen so far this year. I've been a fan of Seth Rogen and Danny McBride and Craig Robertson. I'm a fan of those guys. I think they're generally funny. So if you're into their kind of humor, if you've seen these kind of films before, then go ahead and go check it out. Bring some friends along, and you'll have a blast with it. I can honestly, and yeah, that's really all I can say about it. It's a fun film. I had a good time with it. Go check it out. Now on to Man of Steel. Now, I'm going to say up front before anybody who wants to question what I have to say about it to me. I'm not a Superman guy. Never have been. I've grew up with Batman. I've grew up watching the Tim Burton Batman films. I've grown up with, for better and for worse, the Joel Schumacher Batman films. I've watched the Batman animated series as a kid, loved it. I still love it. And I've watched the Christopher Nolan films. Even though it all ended with The Dark Knight Rises, I still generally enjoy the first two films. So, I'm a Batman guy. Superman I never really got into because, well, I just didn't really have a chance to because I didn't really know any other superheroes. Well, besides Spider-Man and Batman, those were like the only two superheroes that I've known as a kid, and I still generally enjoy to this day. Never really got into Superman. I never watched the animated series. I never watched the Justice League animated series. Never watched Smallville. I have watched the original Christopher Reeves movies of 1, 2, 3, and 4. And first two are by far the best, and then 3 and 4, that's a whole other story. and then I watched Superman Returns, which was a colossal piece of shit. And now I've seen this, and right now, as I speak, there's a huge split down the middle opinions about this film between the people who loved it and people who hated it. And I've looked at them. I've seen what they had to say about it, and I'm going to go with the majority. And this might surprise you. I'm going to go to the majority of people who liked it, because I did. I liked it. I had a good time with it. I had fun with it. And I'm going to disagree with anybody out there that tells me that it's a bad film. Is it perfect? No. It's got plot holes. Believe me, it does. But compared to the last Superman film that we've had, it's so much better. Majority of people have said that this film was so dull and boring and so kind of predictable and shit like that, and there's nothing wrong with being kind of boring. So many films out there, these are good films, have gone a long way into being kind of boring. I've heard people who've said that Quentin Tarantino's films are boring because there's just a lot of talking. I like that. I like conversations in movies because it makes you feel like it feels like a conversation you would have in real life. This movie, on the other hand, gives you the cliff notes of Superman's origins. Basically, what happens is the first 10 minutes of it, you see the destruction of Krypton. You see Kal-El, Clark Kent, Superman, get launched up into space from his parents. and what they had to do to sacrifice themselves in order to save him. And the first 10 minutes of that, and then you see him go to Earth, and as soon as he's getting ready to plow right into the farm, it fast forwards like 31 years into his adulthood, where he's now trying to find a job. He's a fisherman. He's he's in his 30s, and he's trying to hold back the power that he has. And a lot of people had that kind of a problem with it, because the movie is essentially saying, well, if you've seen the other Superman films, then you already know the whole story about it. So many people have said that it's a problem because it's going to be for people who haven't seen the other films, who are going to be confused as to, his origins and everything. You don't necessarily need to know everything about Superman. Not everything. If you want to know everything about Superman, read the comic books. Or if you want, you can watch the other films. There are a shit ton of other Superman material out there that you could watch. There's something for everything that's Superman, and people are complaining that, it's essentially giving you the story that you already know. And people are complaining about that because, well, it's another origin story. Well, yeah, it's another origin story, but people already know who Superman is. People already know. Even as little kids, we all know who Superman is. We don't need to know everything about him, but we just want to know how he became who he became. We want to see, how he became the hero that he was, the moralities that he stands by, all of that stuff. This movie does that. And there's nothing wrong with that. So you're basically bitching about something that everybody already knows by this point, and you're complaining about it because it's not retelling that story again. Whereas if it did retell that whole story again, you would bitch about it because you would say that, oh, we already know all this. This movie's getting boring. I already know all about this. We already know what's gonna happen. Yeah. So what the hell? Can this not win in any way? Is it just not going to be a good film for you whatsoever? Is this just automatically a lose? A failure because of that? And also, a lot of people have said that this film did not need to be so dark, or, it didn't have to be so serious and everything. Or it needed to be more, whimsical and everything. And there's nothing wrong with whimsical in movies and everything, but look at what Superman has become because of the whimsical. You had 3, which had Richard Pryor. You had 4, which had Nuclear Man. You had Returns, with Kevin Spacey, Lex Luthor, going, RUN! And what did you do? You complained about it. You complained about it. And yet when another film comes around and you say that it needed to be more whimsical, you need to set your fucking priorities straight. This clearly shows that nobody can be impressed with a movie or with a retelling of a story of a big icon like Superman. You're not satisfied with it. You basically just throw it down to the ground and just berate it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I had fun with it. I had a good time with it. It was not boring at all. I had a good time with it. I wouldn't recommend seeing the movie in 3D, though, because it will give you a big headache. And that's saying something from a guy that it doesn't get a lot of headaches from 3D movies. But trust me, just watch the movie in 2D. It'll be much better. But What I have a problem with is that a lot of people, like so many people, have said that this film is a bit soulless because Superman is asking the question of like who he is and everything, what can he do, and it's about him. They call that soulless. I call what I and another one of my friends have said. That's the question of life. Why are we here? What purpose do we have? Superman asks those questions because that's what he wants to know. And when that's a human thing, and I like that. I like human qualities in film. I like those movies that ask those questions. Like, what's the purpose of why are we here? Can we do something about it? Can we use our gifts for ourselves or for the better of humanity? Those are the questions that we ask ourselves all the time. Superman does that in this film, and people call it soulless. Fuck yourselves. No. Seriously. Go. Fuck yourself. I like humanity. I want some humanity in my heroes. Even if they're alien. This guy was born in the USA. He was born in Kansas. And you can't get more human than that. Kansas, a place that is known for, for that USA good morality kind of thing. He grew up as a good guy. He wanted to save everybody. He wanted to be that guy to just be a guardian angel and all that stuff. He wanted to be a good person. I like that. And you're taking this film down to a point where you say it's soulless because of that. No. This film can give so many kids out there, make them feel so good. It makes them feel like they can be a good-hearted person. And that's what this film does for me. It makes you feel good because he's using his gifts to save humanity. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's really the problems that I have. I mean, that's the problems that I have with people who are complaining about this film, is that they just don't. I guess some people just don't see it. Am I saying that you should agree with me? No, your opinion is your own. That's fine, but I'm just giving my opinion about it, and I think in some of it's really stupid. But to each their own. Like I said, this is the best Superman film I've seen since the original, by far. And it grows. I really want this film to make another sequel because I think that's where it's going, and I'm really looking forward to it. I had a good time with it. And by all means, go check it out. Have your own decisions. Put down in the comments below and let me know what you think about it, because I really enjoyed it for what it was. I had a good time with it. I like Superman. I like Superman in this film. And a lot of people. Another thing, actually, before I go, another thing that a lot of people had a problem with was the sheer destruction that goes on to this film, into when the battle is going on between Zod and him, and the sheer destruction of all like the buildings that they come across and everything, and how many people are actually dying because of that. Here's the thing: they don't show any people getting killed, except for like when the city's already getting destroyed by a huge fucking laser that's gravitating between the Earth's core and everything, bringing up objects and slamming it down on the ground. you know, people are getting killed by that. But when you watch Superman and General Zod fighting, and the destruction that goes around them, you don't see anybody getting killed because of it. It's a comic book. It's a comic book movie. It's shit like that. It's going to happen. It's balls to the wall comic book. You didn't have a problem with that with Avengers, now did you? You didn't have a problem with like all the destruction that was going on, like when the Avengers were fighting against all those fucking aliens that were coming through that wormhole. You didn't have a problem with that. But when it comes to Man of Steel, no, it's like what happened to the other people? Where are they gonna go? What's gonna happen with them? It's like, ugh. People are not. You're not amused by anything anymore, really. And it's you just can't. It's like these Superman films cannot win. They can't win. So yeah, this was more just a rant of me going on like this. I think I've gone on long enough. By all means, go check out Man of Steel. Go check it out. I highly recommend it. I had a good time with it. If you have a different opinion about it, leave it down in the comments below. As I said, I'm not trying to change anybody's minds about it. Everybody has their own opinions out there, but those were the ones that just kind of pissed me off. So, yeah, by all means, go check it out. I had a good time with it. Next week, next week is World War Z. And thank God, because I'm getting really sick and tired of seeing the trailers for it. So that's about it. So until next time, this is Big Bingy, signing out.